All right, good evening, sports fans, and welcome to the Epic Sports Broadcasting Network for tonight's broadcast of History Maker Baseball. Thank you for joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dave Little, and we are coming to you live from the Dave Cave with action in the round of 16 tournament between the 1988 Philadelphia Phillies and the 1997 St. Louis Cardinals. Two teams that were not favored to even get into the round of 16, but this is game two of the best of three series, with the Cardinals having won the first game by a wild score of 13-6. And tonight's matchup features a pair of 12-game winners, Kevin Gross for the Phillies versus Matt Morris for the Cardinals. The hot batters tonight will be Philadelphia's Chris James, who was 2 for 4 with 2 runs batted in the first game. And for the Cardinals, the hot guy is Willie McGee, who drove in 4 runs on 3 hits in the first game of the series. Juan Samuel took an offer for Philadelphia in Game 1, and he will be your cold guy. Ray Lankford managed just 1 for 5 for the Cardinals, so he will be your cold guy for St. Louis. The Phillies rolled full dissonant, and the Cardinals are semi-harmonious. There were no special messages that came through on the cloudy or on the pregame charts, the sunny or cloudy clubhouse mood charts. And the weather today is neutral. First game was pretty messy in terms of bullpen use, so there will be some limits on bullpen availability that we'll get into as the need arises. But that takes care of the particulars. Your umpires this evening, the home plate umpire is Devin O.G., the original Grognard himself. He is a respected umpire, believe it or not, and he has home plate duties. Keith Avalone is the first base umpire tonight. He is strict. James Whiteman, my old buddy from many baseball journeys, is the second base umpire. And at third base tonight we have Utah Mike. This ball game is being played in Busch Stadium, which is a grass field and semi-big for both righties and lefties. And with that, we will say hello, Tribe fan, and good evening. Welcome to the broadcast. And let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups. For the Phillies, leading off in center field, Milt Thompson. Phil Bradley plays left field and bats second. Batting third, the first baseman, Vaughn Hayes. Mike Schmidt is your third baseman and cleanup hitter. Chris James in right field. He is batting fifth. He is the hot guy for tonight. Batting sixth, the catcher, Lance Parrish. Steve Jeltz is the shortstop, batting seventh. Juan Samuel bats eighth and plays second base. And once again, your starting pitcher batting ninth is Kevin Gross. For St. Louis, Delino DeShields will lead off and play second base, followed by Willie McGee in right field. Lots of speed at the top of the Cardinals lineup. Ray Lankford is your center fielder, batting third. Gary Gaetti is the third baseman and cleanup hitter tonight. Tom Lampkin is the catcher and the number 5 hitter. Dimitri Young plays first base and bats sixth. Ron Gant is your left fielder, batting seventh. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, Royce Clayton. And your starting pitcher, batting ninth for St. Louis, is Matt Morris. So that covers tonight's lineups. And we are now ready for action as Milt Thompson stands in against Matt Morris to start things off. And the opening pitch of the game is a 3-4-6. Nothing here in the pitcher's column. Is the batter eager? He is not eager. And Milt Thompson draws a leadoff walk. Thompson is a semi-active runner, and a roll of the decider die says he will remain semi-active. Catching for St. Louis tonight is Tom Lampkin, and if I recall correctly, he is a neutral fielder. So the odds of a stolen base would be 1-4 if Thompson gets his lead. As Phil Bradley comes to the plate. And let's see, the Phillies are down a game, so they're going to be aggressive and they're going to try to steal. And on a roll of Pip, he gets his lead. And on a roll of 3, it is a successful stolen base for Milt Thompson. And now Bradley is at the plate with Thompson in scoring position, facing off against Matt Morris. The pitch from Morris is a 1-1-5. Is Morris fresh? Yes, he is. And that will be a pop-up to the shortstop, Royce Clayton. That is the first out of the inning as Thompson returns to second base. And that brings to the plate left-handed batting first baseman Von Hayes. Semi-hero, semi-scrapper. And the roll is a 2-2-2. Is nothing in the pitcher's column. Is the batter a sad sack? No. And the result is a double to center field. And that will score Thompson from second, and we have the first run of the game. Phillies jumping on Matt Morris here in the top of the first. And that brings to the plate Mike Schmidt now with Von Hayes at second base, still one man out, as Schmidt stands in against Matt Morris. And the roll is a 3-5-6. Are batter and pitcher the same? Yes, they are. Right-hander facing right-hand batter, and that's a strikeout. So Schmidt strikes out swinging for the second out of the inning. And that brings to the plate hot-hitting Chris James. James standing in against Matt Morris. The roll is a 1-1-6. Is Morris fresh? Yes, he is. That's a strikeout. So Morris gets out of the inning, but the Phillies get a run. And at the end of a half an inning, it is the Phillies 1 and the Cardinals coming to bat. Delino DeShields will lead off against Kevin Gross. Gross is a semi-flash, has no other qualities. And the first pitch from Gross is a 1-2-4. Is Gross a control pitcher? No. Is the batter eager? No. That is a base on balls and an active runner steals, and Delino DeShields is indeed an active runner. So second burst, same as the first, with a walk to DeShields and a stolen base to put Delino in scoring position for the hot-hitting Willie McGee. 2-3-5 is the pitch to McGee. Is the pitcher wild? No. Is the batter eager? He is semi-eager, but the decider die says no. And the result will be a ground out to second base. That will move DeShields over to third. And bring to the plate tonight's cold batter, Ray Langford. Langford with a chance to drive home a run with a man at third and less than 2 outs. Let's see if he can get it done. 2-5-5 is the roll. Is the pitcher a star? No. Is the batter a home run king? He is a semi-home run king, but the decider die says no. And the result of that play is a fly out to left field. And active runner on third base scores on flyouts. So that goes as a sacrifice fly. Langford delivers the run, and the game is tied at 1. Oops. And I forgot to score the run. Undo. So the batter's out. It's a fly out to left. And I goofed it up again. Let's try this one more time. It's an out. It's a sacrifice fly. Left field is where the play is made. And DeShields goes home. There we go. Third time's a charm. 2 out, nobody on, 1 run in. And the batter is Gary Gaetti, former member of the Minnesota Twins, former world champion with the Twins. 2-3-3 is the roll. Is the pitcher an ace or a star? No, he is not. Is the batter a slugger? No, he is not. And the end result is a fly out to center field. and that will end the first inning. So we're through one complete, and it is a 1-1 ball game. Top of the second, Lance Parrish will lead things off for Philadelphia, to be followed by Steve Jeltz and Juan Samuel. The delivery to Parrish is a 2-3-5. Is Morris wild? No, he's a semi-control. Is the batter eager? No. And the result is a ground out to second base. Score that one 4-3 in your scorebook. One out, and Steve Jeltz comes to the plate for Philadelphia, the switch-hitting shortstop. 1-5-6 is the roll. Nothing on the pitcher's column. Is the batter a whiffer? He is a semi-whiffer, and the decider die says that is strike 3. 2 men out now, and the base is empty for Juan Samuel, the cold guy, tonight for Philadelphia. Morris sights the sign. Comes set. Winds and delivers a 2-2-6. And with the pip, that's a hit by pitch. So Samuel gets plunked, and that'll get him to first base the hard way. And bring to the plate the pitcher, Kevin Gross. So Philadelphia gets to turn over the lineup here in the ninth, although Gross isn't the worst hitting pitcher ever. 1-3-3 is the roll. Nothing in the pitcher's column. Is the batter a slugger? No, he is not a slugger. And that is a weak fly ball to left field, where Ron Gant will move under that and make the play for the final out of the inning. That ends the top of the second. Still a 1-1 ball game, as Tom Lampkin will lead things off for St. Louis here in the bottom of the second, to be followed by Dimitri Young and Ron Gant. The pitch to Lampkin is a 1-2-3. Is the pitcher both a flash and fresh? He is semi-flash, and the decider die says yes, and that is a strikeout. And up to the plate comes Dimitri Young, who is himself a whiffer and a prospect. This was young Dimitri Young. 2-4-6 is the roll. Is the pitcher control? No. Is the batter eager or sad sack? No. And Dimitri Young draws the walk. And that will bring Ron Gant to the plate. Young at first, 1 out. Young is a neutral runner, so he's not going to be looking to steal. And the pitch is a 4-4-4. Nothing in the pitcher's column. Is the batter a scrapper? No. And the result of that is a double to right. Although a home run king hits a home run, Gant is a semi-home run king. The decider die says this ball is out of here. So Ron Gant tees off on a 2-run homer off of Kevin Gross, and now St. Louis takes its first lead of the game, 3-1, as Ron Gant touches them all. And the St. Louis crowd comes to their feet in appreciation, as the Cardinals look for the opportunity to, if they win tonight, they head to the round of 8 in this best team I've ever seen tournament. Gross, not a happy pitcher out there. Winds and delivers a 1-2-3. Is he both flash and fresh? He is semi-flash, but the decider die says no. And instead of a strikeout, we have a ground ball to shortstop. That is the second out of the inning, and that will bring to the plate Matt Morris. The pitcher, 3-4-5 is the pitch. Do we have an iron catcher? We have Lance Parrish catching tonight for Philadelphia. He is not an iron catcher, so this will not go as a base on ball. Does the pitcher have a good eye? No, and that is a strikeout. So Matt Morris strikes out to end the inning, but the Cardinals do some damage. The 2-run homer from Ron Gant, and it is a 3-1 ball game. ID Jester is here. You're playing the Cardinals for my birthday. How nice. Happy birthday indeed, ID Jester. And welcome to Busch Stadium here for tonight's action. And if you, in case you just joined us, Ron Gant just delivered a 2-run homer to give St. Louis a 3-1 lead as we head to the top of the third. Philadelphia coming to the plate with Milt Thompson to lead things off. As we go to the baseball right now chart, let's see, Matt Morris, the last pitcher he faced was Juan Samuel, who flied out. Actually, no, it was Kevin Gross who flied out. So Morris is not a hot pitcher. Milt Thompson walked his last time up, so he's not a hot batter. So it's neutral all the way around. And on a roll of 3-6, do we have a cold pitcher? No. So he does not miss with his pitch. Instead, he delivers a strike on the outside corner, and the batter hits a pop out to the catcher. Tom Lampkin will move under that and make the play for the first out of the inning. Bringing to the plate Phil Bradley as we go back to the normal chart. Hello, Al Red Sox fan. Welcome to the ballpark for the 1988 Phillies and the 1997 St. Louis Cardinals. It is the top of the third. There is nobody on base, one out for Phil Bradley as the Phillies try to cut into a 3-1 deficit. And we have a 1-3-5, our first random event of the night, with the one being on the black die. That takes us to the ballpark's quality. This is a semi-big ballpark for both righties and lefties. And the roll is a 5-6. Is it a big ballpark? The decider die says yes. Outfielder makes a grab along the fence. And so that will be an out, and that will go to right field. Willie McGee moves to the base of the wall to make that catch for the second out of the inning. As Bradley didn't quite get all of it, and heads back to the dugout disappointed. 2 outs now for Von Hayes. Von Purple Hayes, as Chris Berman used to call him. 2-2-4 is the pitch. Is Morris pitching at home? Yes, he is. And the result of that is a pop out to the shortstop for the final out here in the top of the third, as the Cardinals continue to carry a 3-1 lead, with the top of the order coming up to face Kevin Gross. Delino DeShields is your batter. Walked in the first inning. And on a 2-4-5, is the batter a hero? Yes, he is, and that's a single to left. So DeShields reaches base to lead off the inning for the second time in a row. And once again, he will try to steal. He is an active runner, and against a neutral catcher, that gives him a 1 in 5 chance to steal if he can get the lead. And he gets the lead, and he gets the stolen base. 2 stolen bases now for Delino DeShields, and now Willie McGee comes to the plate, the hot hitter for the Cardinals. With nobody out and a runner in scoring position, the pitch to McGee is a 5-5-6. Is the pitcher an ace? No. Is the batter a sad sack? No. And the result is a double to right field. So McGee strokes a double. DeShields scores, and it is now a 4-1 ball game, and there is joy in the home of I.D. Jester. And Ken Castro is in the ballpark, and that means there is joy for everybody here. We all love Ken Castro. Ray Lankford, the batter. He is the cold guy for St. Louis tonight, but launched a sacrifice fly his first at bat. The pitch this time is a 1-3-4. Do we have a gold catcher? No. Is the batter a champion? No. We're going to go to the outfield drama chart for the first time tonight. Let's see what kind of shenanigans will happen here for Philadelphia in the outfield. 5-6 is the roll. Is the left fielder iron? Your left fielder tonight is Phil Bradley. And Bradley is a neutral fielder. So he is able to run under the looping fly ball and make the catch for the out. Nice running catch by Phil Bradley. And that is the first out of the inning. And Willie McGee holds at second base. That brings Gary Guy Eddy to the plate. Still a runner in scoring position as the Cardinals look to add to the lead. The pitch from Gross is a 2-5-6. Is Gross a struggler? No. Is the batter a champion or patient? No. And now we go to the infield drama chart. Drama once again. This time the roll is a 2-4, and we're going to do a check on the second baseman. Juan Samuel. Is the second baseman gold? No, he is not. So this is not a highlight reel and snag. Otherwise, it's a bobbled ball, and the batter is safe at first on the error. So Juan Samuel boots one. And that will put runners at the corners. Runners at the corners, one man out as Tom Lampkin comes to the plate. We'll play the infield at regular depth and hope that we can get a double play ball off the bat of Lampkin if you're Kevin Gross and the Phillies. The pitch from Gross is a 1-6-6. Is Gross a workman or gilded? No. Is the batter a whiffer? He is a semi-whiffer. The decider die says no. That gives us a ground out to third base. And sure enough, on a lead die of 1, that is a double play. So Kevin Gross got the double play that he desperately needed to get out of the inning with just one run having been scored. As we go to the top of the fourth, it is now a 4-1 ball game. And the result of that roll is going to take us over to the player experience chart as we head to the top of the fourth. Top of the fourth, time for a swig of Diet Mountain Dew. And Ken Castro says the GTIES League has inspired me to start something similar. Great, Ken. I would love to hear more. And also in Play.com news, you may have seen this on the Sports Simulations and Replay page that I posted earlier. The fine folks at Play.com are giving away a 2020 baseball projection set, a full set. All 30 baseball teams are represented. A very fine gentleman by the name of Travis Jansen put that set together based on baseball stats projections that he found somewhere. And Keith Avalone agreed to release that free of charge. And so I picked up my copy last night, had it printed off today. And once the tournament here is finished, I'm going to do a little 2020 prediction tournament of some sort. Travis is indeed a great guy. So yeah, if you head over to the Play.com website and go to the baseball page, I believe it is, you can download the PDF. It's 49 pages, including an introductory page and 3 pages of umpires and a page of lineups. And then you get all the projections for 2020 free of charge. So enjoy that. All right, back to the ball game. It is the top of the fourth now, and Mike Schmidt is going to lead things off against Matt Morris on the player experience chart. And this is going to favor Philadelphia because by 1988, Schmidt was on the tail end of his career, so he is an icon, and Matt Morris is just getting started. He is a prospect. And the roll is 1-5. Do we have a prospect batter? No. So he does not swing at the jump pitch, but he waits on his pitch and delivers a single to open the fourth inning for Philadelphia. So Schmidt chugs into first base, and that brings hot-hitting Chris James to the plate. Still early, and there's still hope on the Philadelphia bench that they can get something going and get back into this ball game, or else it's going to be no more Philadelphia in the best team I've ever seen tournament. The pitch to James is a 4-4-5. Is the pitcher a workman? No. Is the batter patient? No. And that is a ground out to first base. And on a lead die of 4, that is going to advance the runner. So score that 3 unassisted. And move Schmidt to second base on the play. And with 1 out, that brings to the plate the catcher, Lance Parrish. Parrish takes a look at a 1-5-6. Nothing on the pitcher's column. Is Parrish a whiffer? Indeed he is, and he strikes out swinging. 2 outs now. And Schmidt holds up, and that brings Steve Jeltz to the plate with the final opportunity for the Phillies to deliver this run here in the 4th. Jeltz looks at a 1-6-6. Is the pitcher a workman? No. Is the batter a whiffer? He is a semi-whiffer. The decider die says no. And the fielder's column says that's a ground out to third base. And that will end the top of the 4th. And that will take us back to the player experience chart. We'll start at the bottom of the 4th with Dimitri Young, a prospect, facing off against Kevin Gross, who is neutral. What will the player experience chart bring us this time? The roll is 4-5. Is it a prospect batter? Yes. He is fooled by the pitch and he strikes out. So Gross made Dimitri Young look bad on that pitch, and that brings Ron Gant to the plate. Gant homered his first at bat. So he is a hot batter as we go to the right now chart. And Gross is a hot pitcher. Actually, this is the 4th inning, so it's semi-hot batter versus semi-hot pitcher. Gross having struck out the last time he faced, and Gant having homered in his last at bat. 1-4 is the roll. Do we have a cold batter? No. So he does not take a big swing at a bad pitch. Instead, he connects with a big swing and takes us to the outfield drama chart. More drama for the Philadelphia outfield. What will it be? 2-2 is the roll. Is the center fielder gold? Your center fielder tonight for Philadelphia is Milt Thompson, and he is neutral. So on a roll of 2-2, he is not able to chase down the base hit and hold the runner at first with the throw. Instead, it goes as a single, and Milt Thompson's throw is going to get away, and that will move Gant to second on the error. So in play, single. Batter to second on the error. He would not have been out. The error goes on Thompson as a throwing error. So yeah, Gant hits a single. Advances to second on the throwing error. Very good. So Ron Gant stands at second base with 1 man out. And Royce Clayton comes to the plate. And I believe that is going to take us to another chart. That's going to take us to the team chemistry chart. 3 charts in a row. How about that? And on the team chemistry chart, the Phillies are fully dissonant. So the fielding team is dissonant. The batting team is semi-harmonious. And the roll is a 5-6. Do we have pitching team dissonance? Yes, we do. The pitcher is not confident. He chooses a safe pitch, and the batter rips it to the outfield for a single. That's a base hit for Royce Clayton. And on a lead die of 5, runner advances 2 bases on the single, unless he is stoic, and Gant is not a stoic runner. So Gant will score on the RBI single for Royce Clayton. And the Cardinals have scored in every inning. It's a 5-1 ball game with Matt Morris coming to the plate and still just 1 out. Morris is a full utility, but not a sad sack, so he's not the worst hitting pitcher there ever was. And on a roll of 2-2-5, is the pitcher a star? No. Is the batter a slugger or a sad sack? No. That's a single to center field. Matt Morris with the base hit. And what is Royce Clayton going to do on a lead die of 2? Runners advance 1 base on singles. So Clayton pulls into second base. Morris is at first, and Delino DeShields is the batter. Let's see, single, single, single. That is 3 on bases in a row, so Kevin Gross is now a semi-struggler. as Delino Shields comes to the plate. I like to try and get my pitchers through 5 innings if I can, but not in this situation where the Phillies are on the verge of elimination. So if Gross gets to struggler status, he is going to get yanked. To Shields, 1-2-6. Is the pitcher fresh? It is inning number 4, so the pitcher is semi-fresh, and the decider die says no. So already a bad break for Gross. Is the batter a sad sack? No. The result of the play is a single past second. And on a lead die of 1, the runner advances just 1 base. Clayton is a semi-active runner. And the decider die says he's not active, so he is going to have to pull up at third, which only makes sense. With a 4-run lead, you don't want to risk running through the stop sign. So that will be a single, and a 1-base advance for each of the runners. And now with the bases loaded, that is going to be the end of it for Delino to Shields, for Kevin Gross, excuse me. So Gross, a very disappointing outing. 5 runs plus 3 more men on base that are going to be charged to Gross if any of them should score. And the Phillies bullpen is already a mess. They have actually 2 guys who are available for action here tonight. Greg Harris is available, and Tekulve is available. Harris would be more likely to pitch more innings, given his previous reputation. So it will be Greg Harris coming into the ball game. Unfortunately, he is the second man due up in the top of the 5th, but it's too soon to start double switching and that nonsense. So they're just going to give the ball to Greg Harris, and that is the end of the night for Kevin Gross. Harris is fully rested, so he can go as many as 4 innings if they choose to leave him out that long. Here's Juan Samuel with Willie McGee with the bases loaded and 1 man out. Harris has the ace quality for this at bat since he is a reliever coming in the middle of an inning. So the pitch to Willie McGee, 3-5-6. Is the batter and the pitcher the same? No, Willie McGee's a switch hitter, batting left. Is McGee a utility or a sad sack? No. That's going to be a single down the first baseline. And that is a 2-base advance for the runners on the lead die of 3. So that is going to be a 2-run single for Willie McGee. His hot hitting continues. He had 3 hits last night, and he is 2 for 3 in tonight's ball game already. And now has 3 more runs knocked in. So Willie McGee is tearing the cover off the ball. Clayton scores. Matt Morris scores. Delino DeShields moves to third. McGee holds up at first, and there are now runners on the corners, and it's a 7-1 ball game. I.D. Jester is having a happy birthday indeed, as his Cardinals are running up the score on the hapless 1988 Philadelphia Phillies, as Ray Lankford comes to the plate. The pitch to Lankford, a 1-1-5. Is the pitcher fresh? Yes, he is, and that is going to be a pop-out to the third baseman, Mike Schmidt. And that will harmlessly result in the second out of the inning as the runners hold up. The runners return to their respectable bases, and with 2 outs now, the batter is Gary Gaetti. Runners still at the corners. Gaetti takes a look at a 3-4-5. Do we have an iron catcher? No. Do we have a good eye batter? No. That's a strikeout. Gaetti takes a look at strike 3, but the Cardinals add 3 more runs in the bottom of the 4th, and it is now a 7-1 ball game. Heading now to the top of the 5th inning with Juan Samuel leading off against Matt Morris. And History Maker Baseball telling me it's time to go to the right now chart. Samuel was hit by a pitch in his first at bat, so he is neutral. The last hitter that Matt Morris faced was Steve Jeltz, who grounded out, so Morris is neutral. Everybody's neutral as we go to the right now chart. And on a roll of 3-5, do we have a hot batter? No. And the result is a fly out to left field. That brings Kevin Gross to the plate. Actually, Greg Harris is the batter. Forgot to replace him in the batting order. Greg Harris is actually a very good hitter, semi-hero, semi-champion. He must have gotten 3 at-bats and gotten a hit or something in 1988. But he's got a decent hitting chart. And on a roll of 1-4-5, is the pitcher a struggler? No. Nothing on the batter's column, unfortunately, and that is going to be a ground out to third base. That is the second out of the inning, and Milt Thompson comes to the plate. As Matt Morris is on a roll. He struggled in the first inning, gave up a run on 2 hits, but has been outstanding ever since. As he delivers a 1-2-6 to Milt Thompson. Is the pitcher fresh? He is semi-fresh. The decider die says yes. And the History Maker Baseball Guidebook says that's a line out to second base. So quickly, 3 up and 3 down for the Phillies here in the top of the 5th. And we are at the halfway point of today's ball game, and the St. Louis Cardinals are on a roll. St. Louis 7, Philadelphia 1, as we head to the bottom of the 5th. And Greg Harris comes to the plate. Tom Lampkin leads off against Greg Harris. 1-1-1 is the roll. Is the pitcher an ace? He is a semi-ace. The decider die says yes. That's a ground out to third base. So Harris gets the first out of the inning, bringing Dimitri Young to the plate. Young with a walk and a strikeout in 2 plate appearances here tonight. Harris delivers a 2-4-6. Is he a control pitcher? No. Is Young eager or a sad sack? No. Young draws a walk. And that will bring tonight's hero Ron Gant to the plate. Gant 2 for 2 with that big run in the second inning that put the Cardinals on top, and they haven't looked back. Pitch to Gant is a 2-2-5. Is the pitcher a star? No. Is the batter a slugger or a sad sack? No. That's a single to center field. And that will be a 1-base advance for Dimitri Young. He ain't going no place. So that puts runners on first and second for the number 8 hitter and shortstop, Royce Clayton. Clayton against Harris. 1-1-4. Is Harris fresh? He is still semi-fresh. The decider die says yes. That is a ground ball double play to the shortstop. See, Steve Jeltz gobbles that one up. Around we go to Samuel to Hayes for the double play to end the inning. And for the first time tonight, the St. Louis Cardinals come up scoreless on the 6-4-3 double play. And that takes us now to inning number 6. It will be 2, 3, and 4. Bradley, Hayes, and Schmidt against Matt Morris, who is coasting, entering the 6th innings. This is his last inning to be semi-fresh. 4-5-5 is the opening pitch. Is the pitcher a workman? 4-5-5. Is the pitcher a flash? He is a semi-flash. The decider die says yes, and Bradley strikes out swinging. Von Hayes comes to the plate, 1 for 2. Had an RBI double in the first inning to provide the only run of the game for Philadelphia. Hayes this time takes a look at a 1-5-6. Nothing on the pitcher's column. Is Hayes a whiffer? He is a semi-whiffer, but the decider die says no. And we go back to the outfield drama chart. What's going to happen in the St. Louis outfield here tonight? 5-5 is the roll. Is the right fielder iron? The right fielder is Willie McGee. He is not an iron fielder. So Hayes swings and hits a drive into the gap. But Willie McGee catches up to it and makes a fine running catch for the out. As the speedster Willie McGee shows off those wheels, chasing down that drive into right field by Hayes for the second out of the inning. And that brings Mike Schmidt to the plate and takes us back to the team chemistry chart. And on the chemistry chart, it's a 2-5. Do we have pitching team dissonance? No, we do not. So the ball is hit into right field, and Willie McGee makes another running catch to end the inning. And Matt Morris continues to roll. Fine pitching performance for Morris. We are going to let him go ahead and stay in this ball game with a 6-run lead and a tired bullpen. And that is going to, this will be the third inning of work for Greg Harris. So he is no longer fresh or even semi-fresh. He is on fumes. But Harris is the fifth man due up in the inning. So we're going to let Harris pitch another inning. And then we'll see what happens. Harris delivers a 3.66. Nothing on the pitcher's column. Is this a pinch hit or no? Fly out to center field is the result. And that is out number 1. Here's Delino DeShields. 2 for 2 plus a walk. He has been a spark plug again here tonight for St. Louis, and he is going to take a look at a 2-3-4. Are there runners on base? No. Is DeShields a hot batter? He did get a hit in his last at-bat. And the decider die says yes, he is a hot batter. And we're going to have us a fence check. DeShields is not a scrapper. He's not a slugger. So we're going to go off of the straight fence check. So on a roll of 1, 2, and 3, it's a double. 4 and 5 is a triple. 6 is a home run. That will go as a double. So DeShields now hits a double, and he is 3 for 3 on the night. What a night for Delino DeShields. DeShields and McGee keyed the Game 1 victory. And they are back at it again in Game 2. Combining now for 5 hits. And McGee comes up to the plate with a chance for another hit and another run batted in. As Harris winds and delivers. It's a 1-3-4. Do we have a gold catcher? No. Is the batter a champion? No. Back to the outfield drama chart we go. What is going to happen to the beleaguered Phillies now? 2-4 is the roll. Is the center fielder gold? I think we had this roll before with Milt Thompson. He is a neutral fielder. He is not able to make the sensational diving catch. The ball slips through for a base hit and goes as a single. And on a lead die of 2, active runners score from second on any hit, and that is Delino DeShields. So that's another hit for McGee, another RBI for McGee, and another run scored for Delino DeShields. What a dynamic duo these two have been. McGee gets the single. DeShields races around to score, and it is now an 8-1 ball game. And we go now to the red chart, which is the player experience. As Ray Lankford comes to the plate. Greg Harris a semi-icon. Ray Lankford a semi-icon. And on a 1-5, do we have a prospect batter? No. So he will not swing at a junk pitch. Instead, he delivers a single. And on a lead die of 1, that will be a one-base advance. So the hits keep coming for St. Louis. McGee stops at second, and that is 3 in a row now against Harris. He becomes a semi-struggler. Boy, you hate to have to pull him in the middle of the inning with the mess that is the Philadelphia Phillies bullpen, but this game is getting away from Philadelphia in a hurry, and it is a tournament, so it's do or die now for Philadelphia. 2-2-6 is the roll. And with the PIP, that is a hit by pitch. Gaetti is hit by the pitch. And that loads the bases, and that's going to be the end for Greg Harris. Little bit of tension developing between these two teams after that hit by pitch. But Harris goes to the bench, to the taunts of the St. Louis crowd and the contempt of the St. Louis players on the bench. But that is going to be all for Greg Harris. Let's see what else we got in the Philadelphia bullpen. Colby can give us a couple of innings, so he can get us through the rest of the 6th and the 7th. And Bruce Ruffin only pitched a third of an inning in the last game, so he's actually also plenty fresh. All right, so actually we're going to go Ruffin first. He would be the longer of the two hurlers. Although he is a workman and Tekulve is a semi-star. So yeah, we'll go with Tekulve to do what he can to stem the tide of this rally and provide whatever hope is left. As he faces off against Tom Lampkin with the bases loaded and still just one out in another disastrous 6th inning for the Phillies pitching staff. Tekulve lets loose with a 3-3-3. Nothing in the pitcher's column. Is the batter utility or a sad sack? No. And that is a triple to the gap. Tom Lampkin with a triple to the gap. Unless he is a home run king, then it would be a home run. He is a semi-home run king. The decider die says no. So Lampkin hits one into the gap. It gets between Milt Thompson and Chris James, bounces around in the outfield. Willie McGee scores. Ray Lankford scores. Gary Gaetti scores. Lampkin winds up at third. And it is now an 11-1 butt kicking. It doesn't get any more lopsided than this. As everybody scores and Lampkin pulls in at third. And that brings Dimitri Young to the plate. Young with a strikeout and 2 walks. As this game is now officially a laugher. I hope you guys are having plenty of fun in the chat room because there's nothing exciting happening here unless you like offensive baseball and you're a Cardinals fan. So maybe ID Jester's having a good time with this. The pitch from Tekulve is a 2-3-3. Is he an ace or a star? He's a semi-star, and of course the decider die says no. Is the batter a slugger? No. And that will be a fly out to center field. Lampkin is not an active runner, so he will hold as Milt Thompson comes in to make the running catch. And Lampkin is forced to hold at third, which only makes sense with a 10-run lead. With 2 outs, that brings Ron Gant back to the plate. Gant has homered and delivered a pair of singles, and he has a chance for another RBI. And it's a 1-3-5. We go to the random events chart. And on the blue one, that takes us to the umpires mini chart with a runner on third. Let's see what will happen here. 3-4 is the roll. We are going to look at the second base umpire, James Whiteman. Do we have a questionable umpire at second? No. The questionable umpire would call the batter safe at second on a double. Other umpires rule the batter out, trying to stretch a single into a double and the runner scores. So Gant gets another base hit. Lampkin will score, and Gant goes out, trying to stretch that into a double. And away goes the red die. That was hit to left field according to the red die. So we'll call that 7-4 on the out at second. So in play, single. Lampkin will score. Gant is out at second. He is tagged out, 7-4. And that ends the inning, but it is a 12-1 ball game. A 5-run 6th inning for St. Louis has turned this one into a laugher. Unless you're a Phillies fan, and then it's just a trip to the woodshed. All right, Chris James is leading off the top of the 7th. Trailing 12-1. Matt Morris still coasting with now an 11-run lead. And the Cardinals would love to get him through a complete game and save their bullpen for the rest of this tournament. Morris winds and delivers a 2-3-3. Is he an ace or a star? He is a star. And that means James will hit a weak ground ball to the shortstop, Royce Clayton. 6-3 on the putout. So the beat rolls on for Matt Morris. And up to the plate comes Lance Parrish. Parrish, 2.56. Is he a slugger? He is not a slugger. He's a semi-home run king. Oh, no, excuse me. Is the pitcher a struggler? No. Is the batter a champion or patient? He is semi-patient, but the decider die says no. And once again, we will head to the infield drama chart. Infield drama here in St. Louis. As we have a ground ball to the shortstop. Is the shortstop iron? No, he is not. So he will not bobble that ball. Instead, he makes a clean pickup and throws the ball over to first in time to retire Parrish for the second out of the inning. Took a funny hop on Clayton, but he stayed with it. And he retires the batter for out number 2. And that brings Steve Jeltz to the plate with 2 outs and the Cardinals facing an 11, or the Phillies facing an 11-run deficit. 1-2-4 is the roll. Is the pitcher control? He's a semi-control. The decider die says no. Is the batter eager? No. And that will be a base on balls. That's not what you want with a 11-run lead. But Jeltz is aboard, and that brings the number 8 hitter Juan Samuel to the plate. He is the cold guy tonight for Philadelphia. And on a roll of 3-3-6, is the pitcher an ace? No. Is the batter a sad sack, utility, or patient? No. That's a single to center field. Samuel with a base hit up the middle. And Steve Jeltz will coast around into third base to put runners on the corners with the pitcher spot up. So Jacoby will come out. And it'll be Bruce Ruffin coming into the game to pitch the 7th and 8th for the Phillies. Now we need a pinch hitter to face Matt Morris from the Phillies bench. What do we got? We got Greg Gross, utility. Bob Dernier is a hero. Ricky Jordan is a champion and a home run king. Scrapper, utility, home run king, whiffer. Let's go with the champion home run king. Ricky Jordan is going to be the pinch hitter. And he is up there swinging at the fences. He wants to hit a 12-run homer right here and make this a ball game once again. So Jacoby goes out. Ricky Jordan is the pinch hitter. And Matt Morris is hoping to get out of trouble here in the 7th and enable his pitching performance to continue. 1-2-5 is the roll. Is the pitcher a struggler? He would be not a struggler yet. So is the batter patient? No. Is the batter a whiffer? He is not a whiffer. That's going to be a ground out to third base, and that will end the inning. So Jordan grounds out harmlessly to Gary Gaetti, who wings it across to first base for the final out of the inning, and that completes the top of the 7th. And now it's time for Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Say happy birthday to Heidi Jester. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back. Let me root for the Cardinals. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. All right, so that is the 7th inning stretch. 12-1 ball game. And the Phillies need the pitcher, and it is going to be Bruce Ruffin. The lefty semi-workman. So Jacoby comes out, Ruffin comes into the game, and this time I will also remember to put him into the batting order. And it will be Ruffin facing 8, 9, and 1, Clayton, Morris, and Delino DeShields. The pitch to Royce Clayton is a 2-3-5. Is Ruffin wild? No. Is the batter eager? He is semi-eager. The decider die says yes. Is he a whiffer? Yes, he is. That is a strikeout. So Ruffin comes into the game and strikes out Royce Clayton to start the inning, and there was much rejoicing. Yay. Okay, Matt Morris is going to bat for himself in the bottom of the 7th. He continues to roll. 3-4-4 is the pitch. Is the pitcher a prospect? No. Bruce Ruffin's been around. Is the batter patient? No. That's a pop out to second base. So a harmless pop out to Juan Samuel at second. 2 outs now, and Delino DeShields comes to the plate against Bruce Ruffin. They have yet to retire DeShields tonight. And on a 1-4-5, that is going to be a ground out to first base. And finally, DeShields is retired to end the bottom of the 7th. Score that one 3-1 in your scorebook. Did you get that, Al? We know Al, Red Sox fan, is scoring at home because scoring is good for you. All right, bottom of the 8th inning. Matt Morris back out for inning number 8. Facing the top of the order, Thompson, Bradley, and Hayes. The pitch to Thompson is a 5-6-6. Is the pitcher wild? No. Does the batter have a good eye? No. That's a strikeout. Milt Thompson goes down looking. And Phil Bradley comes to the plate, and we go to the baseball right now chart. Bradley struck out his last time up. He is a cold batter. Morris got the strikeout. He is a hot batter. And on a roll of 3-4, do we have a cold batter? Yes, we do. That is a weak dribbler to the pitcher. Batter slump affects teams, side retired, alternating ground outs and pop outs. So Morris just mows him down. So he gets Bradley on a 1-3. And because of the right now chart, he gets Von Hayes on a pop up to first base. And quickly the inning is over. And we go to the 9th as the Cardinals come to bat for what they hope will be the final time. Leading 12-1 with Willie McGee. 3 for 4 on the night with a double and a pair of singles and a bunch of RBIs. And he takes a look at a 3-3-5 from Bruce Ruffin. Is Ruffin wild? No. Is McGee a sad sack? He is not. And that is going to be a single to right field. It also says stolen base, but with an 11-run lead, we're not going to have Willie McGee steal a base. But that is a single for Willie McGee. And that is another 3-hit night for McGee. Here's Ray Langford. With McGee at first, nobody out. The pitch from Ruffin is a 1-3-5. And we go back to the random events charts. And this time it is a black 1. So it is ballpark qualities. And 6-6 is the roll. Is it a small ballpark? No. So it will be a fly out to the warning track. That would have been a home run in a small ballpark. But in the semi-big Busch Stadium, that is going to take Phil Bradley back to the warning track to haul that one in for the first out of the inning. McGee returns to first base, and that brings to Gary Gaetti. Gaetti to face Bruce Ruffin. 2-2-5 is the pitch. Is the pitcher a star? No. Is the batter a slugger or a sad sack? No. And the result is a single to center field. McGee pulls up at second base, where he will be held up. This has taken the extra base with an 11-run lead. Tom Lampkin to the plate now. Strikeout, ground out, and a triple for Lampkin here tonight. Had bases clearing triple. Just took this game from the ridiculous to the sublime in the 6th inning. This time Lampkin gets a 1.56. Is he a whiffer? He is a semi-whiffer. The decider die says that's a strikeout. And the runners will hold. And with 2 outs, your batter will be Dimitri Young. 0 for 2 with a pair of walks tonight. Facing off against Bruce Ruffin. 4-5-6 is the pitch. Nothing in the pitcher's column. Is the batter patient? No. And the result is a fly out to center field, and that will end the inning. So we have made it to the 9th. The score, St. Louis 12 and Philadelphia 1. And if you're still here watching this, I'm glad you're having a good time in the chat room. Let's see, Dave Gardner's here. Let's go Phillies. All right, good luck with that, Dave. ID Jester. Appachatter. It's here in the ballpark. Now, Red Sox fan, it's good for the brain. I assume he's talking about scoring. And yeah, so I'm not going to scroll all the way back through everything we've seen. Dave Gardner, I have a question for you. I think I read on Facebook that you have a birthday coming up on Sunday. Is that correct? Let's go Reds, says Clinton, says Appachatter. As Mike Schmidt comes to the plate to lead off against Matt Morris, attempting to finish what he started. And the rally cry is on the Philadelphia bench. 11 to win, 12 to take the lead. Yes, Dave Gardner is celebrating a birthday on Sunday, and so am I. We have the same birthday. I think I'm a shade older than Dave Gardner. I will be 56. I think Dave is late 40s, early 50s. Am I right? And ID Jester is about 112. Mike Schmidt, the batter. As we go to the team chemistry chart, do we have batting team harmony? Goodness, no. So the batter does not connect on a bloop single. Instead, we have outfield drama. And let's see what is going to happen on the outfield drama chart. So yeah, Dave is 53, Dave Little is 56. And ID Jester is still not going to give up the info. 45 is the roll on the outfield drama chart, so we look to the center fielder, and that would be Ray Langford. I don't think Langford is a gold glover. No, he is a neutral fielder. So he is not able to make the sliding grab on the sinking liner. It's going to fall in for a single. So Mike Schmidt with the leadoff single to get things started for Philadelphia in their quest to climb back into this one. Chris James is your batter. He is the cold guy tonight. No, excuse me, he's the hot guy tonight. And we are on the player experience chart now. Matt Morris, a full prospect. James, a semi-prospect. The roll is a 1-6. Do we have an icon pitcher? No, he does not fool the batter. Instead, the batter connects, and it is a single to the outfield. So the first 2 men have reached here against Matt Morris. They're going to leave him out there in hopes that he can get out of here. But if he becomes a struggler, then we will go to the bullpen. Because by winning this game, the Cardinals will get a day off. And so they will have less to worry about in terms of bullpen utilization. Here's Lance Parrish. 2-3-6 is the roll. Is the pitcher double control? No. Is it a pitcher batting? No. That's a walk to Parrish. And Matt Morris is now showing visible signs of fatigue. And they're going to go ahead and just pull the trigger now and get Morris out of there. And they are going to bring in for the Cardinals. Oh, ID Jester is 54. Okay. So I am the old guy of the April birthdays at 56. So the St. Louis Cardinals need a bullpen replacement, and they are going to go with T.J. Matthews, who is their most well-rested reliever. Hasn't pitched since Game 1 of the tournament. Surprising, he is an ace and a flash and a semi-control. Good pitching card. But the Cardinals just have not needed to go to Matthews. So Morris comes out of the game. Nice round of applause from the fans here at Busch Stadium. And into the contest comes T.J. Matthews to face number 7 hitter and shortstop Steve Jeltz, with the bases loaded and nobody out. And the Phillies looking to make some noise. The pitch from Matthews is a 1-5-6. Is Jeltz a whiffer? He is a semi-whiffer, and the decider die says strike 3. And the runners have to hold. And that brings the cold guy Juan Samuel to the plate. Let's see if we can get a pinch hitter out here to replace the cold guy Juan Samuel. How about the hero Bob Dernier? Bob Dernier into the game to face T.J. Matthews. Number 22 in your roster. Bases loaded now, 1 out as Dernier steps to the plate. 2-3-4 is the roll. Are there runners on base? Yes, that takes us to the plate drama chart. We have seen a lot of drama in tonight's ball game. And let's see what is going to happen here. The roll is a 2-4. Do we have a wild pitcher? No. If so, that had been a wild pitch. Otherwise, it's high and outside for a ball, and we go to the umpire mini chart. So the umpire mini chart with the bases loaded. What is going to happen here? If you blow this, Dave, I am never speaking to you again. Oh, wait, does that mean I will try harder for the Phillies now? Shoot, forget what I said. Oh, ID Jester, you are a fun guy. Even if we don't agree on everything, I enjoy every moment that we get to interact. But I do want to see a comeback here just for the excitement of it. Maybe I'll root for a comeback and a 12-11 finish. Okay, let's see what these rascally umpires are going to do. On a roll of 2-3. Attempted FC at third base. FC, fair catch. Fielder's choice, probably fielder's choice. Lenient umpire at third base. Calls the runner safe. Tonight's third base umpire is Utah Mike, and he is lenient. So that is going to go as an infield hit. Attempted fielder's choice at third base. So the ball was hit to Gaetti. Gaetti tried to make it to third base before the runner Chris James could get there. And the call from Utah Mike was safe at third. And that is going to go as an infield single, and that will score a run. Everybody moves up a peg, and it's now a 12-2 ball game, and ID Jester is starting to sweat. As Bob Dernier is on with the RBI single, and that brings the pitcher spot to the plate. And now we got a home run king out here in Luis Aguayo, who is going to come to the plate and pinch hit for Bruce Ruffin. So now with one swing of the bat, we can cut this lead in half. So Bruce Ruffin comes out, Luis Aguayo comes in. And T.J. Matthews bears down against Aguayo. Bases loaded, 1 out. Infield back, outfield back. The pitch to Aguayo is a 1-1-5. Is the pitcher fresh? When did Matthews come into the game? I believe this is, when did Matthews come into the game? This is home pitching. Yeah, Matthews came into the game in the middle of the ninth. That's right, because Morris came in, loaded the bases. We brought Matthews in. So he is still considered fresh. And that is good for y'all, because that is going to be a pop-up to the first baseman for the second out of the inning. Dimitri Young moves under that one. Makes the play. The runners hold. And the Phillies are down to their final out, in the person of leadoff hitter Milt Thompson. Thompson 0 for 3 tonight. He does have a walk. Struck out in his last at bat. 156. Is he a whiffer? He is a semi-whiffer, but the decider die says no. And believe it or not, once again we go to the outfield drama chart. The outfield drama chart for the Cardinals. 3-4 is going to be a look at the left fielder, who is Ron Gant. Ron Gant is a semi-gold fielder this season, so he is not iron, and he is not going to make an error on the routine fly ball. Instead, Gant moves under it, calls off Royce Clayton, who's backpedaling. Gant makes the catch, and mercifully this ball game is over. Score that one, a fly out to left. Gant makes the catch, and the final score is St. Louis 12 and Philadelphia 2. And we'll take a look at the box scores. The most interesting thing on this box score is going to be the Cardinals offense, because it was a juggernaut here tonight, putting in 12 runs. And Utah Mike is in the chat room, and ID Jester is giving him grief about that call at third base. Okay, here is the batting line for Philadelphia. They totaled 6 on the night. Mike Schmidt was the only one that got 2 hits. Von Hayes has the only extra base hit. As the Phillies got a run in the first and a run in the ninth and nothing in between, as they go down to a 12-2 defeat. The batting line for the Cardinals is impressive. 16 hits, 12 runs. Delino DeShields 3 hits, 3 runs scored. McGee with another 4 RBI night on a 4 for 5 performance at the plate. He is scorching. That's 4 RBIs for the second night in a row. 3 runs batted in for Lampkin on that bases clearing triple. And Ron Gant with the 2-run homer. And a total of 3 runs batted in and 4 for 4 from the plate for Ron Gant here tonight. So yeah, the 1997 Cardinals rolled through this night. Matt Morris, fine pitching performance. Went 8 innings, gave up the 2 runs. And TJ Matthews came in to finish, but he will not get the save. And the pitching lines for Philadelphia were a disaster. Kevin Gross, 3 1/3 innings, 7 earned runs. Greg Harris, 2 innings, 4 runs. Kent Tekulve pitched 2/3 of an inning and gave up a run. Bruce Ruffin did his job, getting 2 innings of scoreless baseball to end it. So that will be the end of tonight's ball game, with the final score once again: St. Louis 12 and Philadelphia 2. Your starting pitchers are your pitchers of record. So Matt Morris gets the victory. The defeat is pinned on Kevin Gross, and there will be no save awarded for tonight's ball game. Tomorrow night on the channel, Heartland Championship Wrestling makes its return. It will be the Heartland Ladies Wrestling in action. And I think we have Sherry Martell against Soraya Knight for the championship rematch in the main event. Don't quote me on that, but I do know that tomorrow night around 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern, I intend to be on the channel with Heartland Championship Wrestling. And on Sunday, it will be the return of My Journey with Jesus. So thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. Great night. Al Red Sox fan, ID Jester, happy birthday again. Sports Time Machine was here. Appa Chatter, thanks for dropping in. Dave Garner was around. Clinton Parks. Ken Castro. And I believe Tribe Fan was here at the beginning of the broadcast. Big Clue. I missed Big Clue coming in. Thank you for stopping by. Ken Castro, I believe we got everybody. And Tribe Fan, yes. Thank you everybody so much for coming out to the ballpark for tonight's History Maker Baseball. That is the end of the round of 16. We are now down to the final 8. And the tournament championship is within sight. So on behalf of the Epic Sports Broadcasting Network, thank you once again for coming out. That's our stream, and I am out of here.